Dun, 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 dun. We have a quads request today. So I think what we're gonna do today, we are going to review the difference between, so we'll focus on a lot of different kinds of lunges today. Maybe in the middle of the class, if you're pointing your regular sized yoga mat straight at the camera during this class, probably in the middle of the class I'll suggest again that you turn it sideways, because we're going to do sort of a focus on triangle and side angle, because we haven't really gone into those yet. And we also have not yet touched upon Warrior 1 versus Warrior 2. So we're going to do our sun salutations in Warrior 1 today, which is slightly different. So let me break that down and then we'll go through our sun salutations with some flow. The big difference between Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 is just the position of your back leg. So if you want to just stand on both feet for a hot second, put your hands right where your thighs plug into your hip sockets really, and just shift over to one leg and rotate in and out. Boopity 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 boo. Yeah? So when we're doing high lunge, as I call it, in this class, then both legs are parallel to the front. Yeah? But you can feel how your hip socket turns like a key, right? So in Warrior 1, your back leg is going to be turned out, as I'm demonstrating here, while your front leg is still forward. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Just stand in a nice high lunge. You need to see my feet for this. Yeah, standing in a nice high lunge, as we've been practicing, all of the upper body for your high lunge is the same. So shoulders are trying to be over hips. We're engaging that core and trying to get a vertical pelvis. Front knee is bent with the knee and the second toe pointing straight forward, and the knee is directly over the ankle, not past it. So all that stuff is the same in your high lunge and your Warrior 1. And the only thing that's different in your Warrior 1 is this back leg here is going to rotate out. So go ahead and turn it out and try and put that heel down. And you'll notice for most of us, unless you're super, super experienced with Warrior 1, it opened your hips. Do you see how that unsquared my hips? So I want you to step it out a little bit wider for me, maybe just like 4 inches or something, and find the place where you can put your back heel down, hold your thigh rotated open, and rotate your pelvis back forward. So there's 2 motions that are active here, and one is pulling the hip forward and the other is rotating that leg back. So just for the sake of memorizing, Warrior 1, go ahead and say it to yourself, Warrior 1, and then change and go high lunge. High lunge is parallel. And then step it out and go Warrior 1, high lunge. And Warrior 1, and high lunge. Go ahead and switch to the other side. I'm gonna stand sideways for you so you can see the difference. So we have Warrior 1. Yeah? And we want to keep those hips all the way square to the front in both positions. If I were to not lift my foot up and just rotate my back leg, it pulls my hips off of square, as we call it. And I want my hips to be square in Warrior 1, so I step out a couple of inches to make space for that. And then if you're wondering how to hold this rotation, because we don't want this knee to point forward while the foot points out, yeah? The way to hold this rotation is in your external rotators, which are under your butt in this spot. I like to call the under butt chisel, as it were. So where the curve of your butt meets your thigh, there's your external rotators. And they're gonna be engaged to rotate this thigh. So I'm gonna put my hand on the front of my thigh here. And when I squeeze it, you can see that my thumb points the front of my thigh outward. So go ahead, try that again. Warrior 1, step it slightly out, put the heel down. Sorry, that one's Warrior 1, the other one's high lunge. Great, Amber, now we're confused. High lunge, Warrior 1. And you really want to actively think about rotating that thigh out. That's the big challenge there. Warrior 1, high lunge, Hips coming forward, thighs going back. Yeah. Okay, that in mind, we're gonna go through our sun salutations pretty much the same way that we usually do, except instead of stepping back to high lunge as the default, you'll be listening to hear whether I'm calling out warrior one or high lunge. Sound like a plan? Yeah? Okay. So let's go ahead and start standing today. Crazy. We'll just stand in our mountain pose. Let those shoulders down. And close your eyes for a little bit. Let yourself breathe. Take this time to really witness your alignment as you stand still. So imagine your footprint on the floor and notice whether your default is to have maybe your weight back in your heels or a whole bunch of it in your toes. We want to be even from front to back. If there's any unevenness, I would say a little bit more in the balls of your feet. And then draw your soft awareness up to your knees and notice whether your knees are hyperextended or locked back. We don't want that, so let's put a little micro bend in those knees. But then think about radiating. So we're lengthening through the legs. We're supporting the weight of the body by pressing into the floor. So there's a soft reach from your hip sockets down through those legs. And let's just breathe into that length. And think about opening your hip sockets to the front of the room by dropping your tailbone down and lifting your belly slightly in. Then notice where your rib cage is. Notice if it's bent back really far or slouched forward. And instead, think about that support pressing into the floor, rebounding up in a long, flat spine that reaches upward. And that spine and the center of your head are going to be over the spot that's between your two balls of your feet. See if you can feel that feeling. So for most of us, the chest and ribs hang out a little bit far back. So maybe experiment with shifting your heart an inch forward and see if that gives you a little more space in your lower back. Space in the lower back. Lifting up in the belly, shifting the heart slightly forward, and then roll your shoulders back and start that breath. Let your eyes open a little bit. Inhale, shoulders come up and forward, and let's just roll through those shoulders. Let yourself be fluid in that rib cage. And lean your head forward. And lean it over to the right. And lengthen up to the back, so don't drop it to the back. And over to your left. And back to the front. And roll it slowly around the other way. Just opening up those necks long to the back. Gently, gently down to the front. Big breath in, take your arms up. And gather it down the center. Let your knees soften. Let's breathe here a few times with a little soft knee. Big breath in. Exhale, drop it down. Let your head and chest drop. Inhale up. Exhale, take it down the center line. Sit down. Drop the head, come up. Bring those knees and toes all the way together to sit into your awkward chair. Reach those arms up. Draw your belly in as you sit back down. Let your buns go back. There's a temptation usually to sort of fall forward in the knees here, but I want you to feel like you're certain there's a stool behind you somewhere. If you could just get back to it. Reach those arms back behind you like you're gonna pull a seat in underneath yourself. And drop the head gently, knees stay bent. Gently shake your head, no. No, we don't like traffic. And gently, yes. Yes, we like days off. Exhale, drop those hips down a little further. Inhale, lift the chest, stay low in the hips. Bring the arms down center and breathe it up. Taking the arms down to namaste. Close your eyes and find that nice alignment again. Nice quiet breath. Shoulders down the back. Heart just slightly shifted forward. Let yourself rock around your feet a little bit. Noticing where the weight is naturally. Big breath in. Open those arms up. Sit down in your awkward chair. Way down low. Look down at your knees and toes. Make sure your knees are over your toes, not past your toes. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, stack it back up. Hands to namaste. Step to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Big breath in. Here we go with our sun salutations. Exhale, open. Inhale, rise. Exhale, reach it forward. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, down you go. You're gonna step back with your right leg to high lunge. And then step the foot out to go to warrior one and rise up. Take a moment and check your alignment. If your hips are still opening, don't be afraid to step out a little bit further with that hip for me. Think of your left hip as dropping down. And then reach back up. Over here on the right leg, we want to feel the whole outside of the right foot on the mat. Hip rotates forward, but thigh rotates back. Just feel it for a while. If you notice that that leg is really pulling your back into a arched position, think about engaging your core some more. Big breath in. Let's breathe through the arms. Exhale, open. Inhale, up. You choose how much you move your back with this motion. If you're beginning, you might want to keep your back still and just think about opening the chest and armpits. If you're feisty, you can go down a little bit lower and arch up a little bit higher. One more time. Take those arms all the way down to the mat with that exhale. Step it back. Bring your feet together for your chaturanga vinyasa. Knees can be on the ground or not. Inhaling up to your cobra. Drop your chin today and find a long back of the neck instead of lifting your chin. Exhale, let it down. Inhale, press it up. Take it back, downward dog. Take a nice smooth walk here, letting your hips twist, opening up your feet and ankles and toes. Maybe even with your shoulders back, twisting the head left and right, finding your softness. Come to your full downward dog, legs together. Pull in through your pelvic floor, drop your chest, and let's adjust those hands if they need a little adjustment. Only as wide as your elbows, pointer fingers forward, elbows rotate back of the room, big breath in. Exhale, drop your heart towards your knees. Soften those knees if you need to. Inhale, your right leg's gonna come up. Square those hips. Exhale, tuck it underneath yourself. Curve your body. Try and put your nose on your knee. I'm gonna turn to my side so you can see. Nose on your knee. Exhale, send that leg up. Checking in with yourself. We're moving slowly so you can really feel how you're doing today. Reach, radiate, press the floor away. Exhale, tuck it underneath. Pull in your core, nose and knee together. Lift it up again. Feel your square hips. Reach through that leg by using your glutes, not your back. Glutes, glutes, glutes. Exhale, tuck it underneath. Tuck your body, shift your weight forward. Step on it. Rise up. Take your hands down to your pelvis. Switch to your warrior one. Square those hips. Notice if your booty's sticking out today. And fix it. Might be that your front leg's not as bent as you want it to be, and that's okay. I'd rather have a long, healthy back as opposed to a splayed back so you can get down lower, yeah? Back health beforehand. Reaching those arms out to the side. Big breath in. You're gonna turn to your right bent leg. Towards your bent leg. Feel that bent leg on the floor. How does the foot feel? Do you still feel like your weight is even across the ball of the foot? Big breath in. We're gonna come square again. We're gonna reach forward with a flat back. So I have to pull this front bent leg hip back more sternly to keep my hips even. Take your hands to the floor, fingertips if you want, or nothing. Step forward, step together. Drop that head, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, arms back. Float your spine. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rise up. Here we go, other side. Inhale up. Exhale down. Stepping back with the other leg. Step that foot out to find your warrior one. Really take your time here. Pulling your bent legs hip back to square. Opening up through the thigh. Rise up. The more you pull this belly in and tuck your tailbone, the more you're going to feel the opening in that hip. Here we go with the breath. Imagine that you're making space in your armpit joints. Take it on down to the floor. Legs together for chaturanga. Before you press up and back, while you're laying here on the floor, check where your hands are. They should be right underneath your shoulders before you press up. Squeeze your elbows in. Downward dog. Looking down and back behind yourself. Let's go ahead and stand on your right leg and turn your left leg out and press back. Bent legs are fine. Turn it in, switch, open, and press back. Let's make a walk out of that. Stepping together, opening your left leg, stepping together parallel, opening your right leg, stepping together parallel, opening your left leg, stepping together parallel, opening your right leg. Now try it lifting your knee up to the side, stepping together parallel, opening your left leg and right leg in alternation. How are those arms? How are they doing? Can we squeeze those elbows towards each other? Finish it out. Feet together, lift your left leg to the sky. Tuck it underneath into your nose, curl forward. Exhale, extend it back up. Check in with your elbows, slow it down so that you're feeling your alignment. Tuck and curve. Pull your belly lock in. Rotate your elbows back. And step it through. You step through to your high lunge, then you step out the back leg and square off to warrior one. Drift those hands down, shoulders, hips, check that lower back. Engage the abs. Minimize the depth of the lunge. Instead, focus on strong, aligned lower back. So I'm having to work really hard to twist my hips back forward and to keep my back leg rotating out back here. But that means this one's not getting its normal like feisty lunge feeling, and that's okay. I'm focusing instead on lower back and back leg pelvis. Big breath up. Arms wide to the side. Imagine that back leg's thigh has to stay out to the side and twist away from it, twist away from it, twist away from it. Can you tuck your tailbone underneath a little bit more? Find a little more twist. Tailbone under. Let your breath lead you into these little alignment adjustments. My arm wants to keep going because I'm trying so hard, but I want your arms to stay with your shoulders. Bring your belt forward. Check those square hips. Lean forward. Square hips. Find your breath. Knee over ankle. Core in. Hands drift down to step together. Let it go first. Feet and knees and legs all together. Slowly draw it up. And flat back. Lift into your core. Reach forward and back with the spine. Exhale, soften, and rise. All right, we're gonna do the same pattern again. We're just gonna flow through it. Here we go, big breath in. Exhale, down, forward, fold. Inhale, float, on, up, flat, back. Exhale, take it down. Left leg back. Take your time to find your foundation in warrior one. Maybe rock a little forward and back. Remember last time we talked about the knee reaching forward, back heel reaching back, core lifting up, hips dropping down. All those lunge rules apply here. Come on up to your warrior one. Open up your wings. and dive it front. Go ahead and go on through your chaturanga vinyasa. Hearts forward. Lift up through your core here. Don't let it just go into your lower back because it feels fun. Exhale down. Up to your downward dog. Check those hands. Explore, have fun in your downward dog first. Rest in your downward dog. And start your pendulum leg, just as we did before. Lifting up square hips. Exhale, it tucks through. Shift forward, breathe in. Exhale, weight goes back. Inhale, lift your leg. Repeat, exhale, leg comes down. Chuck in, inhale, exhale, weight goes back. Inhale, lift your leg. 2 more. This one's gonna send you through. Step through. Find warrior one. Take your time, figure it out, make it wide as you need. Come up. Your back thigh is anchoring you open. Come forward. Step together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, side. Roll it up soft. Here we go, other side. Forward fold as you exhale. Inhale, lift it up, flat back. Exhale, take it down. Step back. Find that same warrior one you were just in. Rising up. Really let yourself focus on the feeling of the position of your pelvis and lower back. Don't let your ego take you into a low lunge just because you think that's where you're getting the most workout. It's not true. The hardest place here is to keep those square hips. Find your edge with fine alignment. Lower on down, step it back, chaturanga vinyasa, hearts forward. Enjoy your downward dog. And let your same leg lift. Four pendulums. Use your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, leg tucks under. Inhale, shift and tuck it forward. Exhale, back goes the heel. Inhale, lift that leg up high. Last one, down. Step it through. Find your foundation. Turning out your back leg and rotating, opening up diagonally across the torso. Take it forward. Find your length. Step together. Forward fold. Inhale, float. Exhale, soften. Scoop it up. Shifting onto your right leg. Bring that left knee up to your chest and pull it inwards. Dropping that left hip down so that your hips are parallel with the floor. If you can't pull it in that far yet, it's okay to soften your standing leg to get it a little higher or grab somewhere else on your pants. Find your bus stop, what works for you. And then open that knee to the side and try and keep your hips in the same place. Bus stop A grab is under the thigh. Hips are parallel to the floor. B's behind the knee. C, ankle or calf. D, heel. E, toe. Might not be ready for E even if you can get there normally because we're still a little early in the class. Go ahead and send it out. Try and keep your hips in the same place. Reach your opposite arm away to help you balance. Soften, bring it in, shift sides. Take that center line over the ball of your left foot, dropping down, tailbone as well. Gently lift the right leg into your chest. Opening up that thigh. Counterbalance with the other arm. Take your buns down and over to your left to keep your balance. Find your extension for today. Your leg does not have to get straight. Your balance is what we're looking for. Balance, not straight. Everything may look flat in a video, but believe me, it's not flat. It's very much in front of my body. Bend it, take it down. We're gonna repeat. I'm gonna do it sideways so you can see how far forward everything is, yeah? Just looks like it's flat. Shifting onto your right leg. Go this way first. Right leg, left knee comes up. Hips are parallel to the ground. I'm gonna open that knee sideways. I'm gonna grab underneath. See how far forward my knee is of my body? Find your core, extend it out. Way far forward. Press into the ground with a soft foot. Bend that leg, switch sides. Shift it over. Hips go way over. Belly button and heart are trying to be over the ball of your standing foot. Opening the knee. Squeeze your legs together as you send them out. I don't care about your leg getting straight. I care about your posture in the middle. Posture in the middle. Ooh, my hip is up. Let me do better. There we go. Soften it. Bring it down and together to the front. Big breath in. Wind those hips out. Find your softness. Bring it up. Just take a moment, wind it out, get a sip of water. Let's do check-in 2. Rotate your mat sideways, please, if you would like to. If you're already checked in, just wind it out. Lonnie, I can see you. If I turn up music a little bit, can you let me know if this is still okay volume? Volume's okay? Okay, thank you. All right. Coming to face front. This is your right side as usual. Starting with parallel legs. I'm gonna move back. Just let them wind. Lift one hip and drop them. Let your spine be a snake for a little while because we don't usually get to do that, yes? Okay. Come center with square hips. And I want you to draw this center line up. Just breathe and draw a line. Imagining your spine. Remembering that your spine comes all the way from the base of your torso up all the way into the very back of your neck. Yeah? Sometimes we think about our spine ending here. I want you to think of it as flowing into your skull. Maybe even flowing beyond. So you have this long, long spine. Soften those legs for me. And there's going to be some different terms I use. So there's side bending. Let's all side bend. That means somewhere in the middle here around the waist, we're going to bend the spine. Bending your spine. So staying flat, let's snake. Feels like dancing. Just snake it out. Side bend. Explore. Come center. Find your weight even. And send your hips all the way over to the right. And then take your spine straight and tip it over from this hip socket. Notice how this knee almost always wants to go back in a hyperextension. Keep it a little soft for me, friends. And put your hands on your pelvis. In fact, put it on your side. And I want you to come up by putting your pelvis back underneath yourself and send your pelvis to the other side. We're trying to keep that whole spine in one line, yeah? Feel it. Notice how when you get to a certain point, you want to go further by side bending. That's a different instruction. So whole body is tipping over from the pelvis is what we're doing. Just go side to side, tipping from the pelvis. Try to stay flat. Come on up. Do over. Come on up. Do it over. Come on up. All right. Now we're going to take those thighs and turn both of them out. They don't have to be all the way to the side. Again, this is just a nice comfortable 45-degree angle. And go ahead and sit it down like you're wiping something off your tail there on the ground. Get it on down there. Okay, we're going to bend and we're going to stay low, still torso, breathing with the arms. Big breath in. Exhale, press it down. Inhale, fill your belly up. Exhale, press it out. Can you drop your tailbone back to flat? Staying nice and big, we're gonna inhale. Exhale, push out. Open your knees a little wider as you exhale and open them again as you inhale. Keep opening up those knees. Keep tucking in your tailbone actively. All right, come up. Send it back down. Slide your hands down your inner thighs. Drop that rib cage, shoulders back. Press back with your hands. This is the horseback riding pose. So I am pushing back with my hands, but I'm tucking under with my core. Find your breath. Touch the challenge without judgment. 2 more breaths. Bring it up. Good job. We're going to turn our left leg back to the front. Now we have our right leg turned out. Let's get it all the way turned out. Left leg's front, right leg side. We're going to do the triangle pose. It's the full spine tip. Bring it a little close at first. Tip those hips. You want to feel a little stretch here because your butt's going so far out to that side. Soft knees. Pull those ribs in. Lift your core and reach the top of your head. Open those arms. If you need a little rest, you can put your hand on your thigh or your shin, but try not to first. first, let's hold it. Press into those feet. Pull the bottom hip underneath yourself. Feel those cores. The muscles creep. One more breath holding on. Then hand to a resting place. Could be thigh, may not be knee. Anywhere but your knee. Shin, ankle, floor, brick, anywhere you want. Once you're there, you've changed the nature of this pose. Instead of being strengthening, we're getting further into the stretch. So I want you to think about your whole torso trying to get flatter. So that means this bottom hip comes forward underneath you. Try to get your shoulders square. Great big breath. Good. All right, now you're gonna bend your right knee and put your elbow on it. And we're gonna scooch your left leg into the side angle lunge. Again, this bottom hip is trying to come underneath you to get flat so that your toes, knee, hip, shoulders, other hip, and foot are all on the same plane, as though you're up against the wall flat. Find your breath. And now we're gonna do a little anaphorus technique. I'm gonna have you let go of that neck gently onto your shoulder, let it go. Everything else is still reaching long, but relax that neck. Let's move your top arm. Inhale, exhale, open it out behind you. Inhale, bring it front. Exhale, open up. All right, take it down next to your right foot. Turn your hips towards the mat and open that right foot. So I'm letting this knee fall open. So you can see my knee. I'm letting this front knee fall open. I'm standing on the side of my foot here. My arms are definitely doing a lot of weight support. I'm going to place that foot back to square. I'm going to open my pelvis back to that same plane. If there were a line I could draw from my front, my pointer finger toe through my ankle, it would line up with the arch of my back foot. Same for you here, coming into that same side angle pose. Another choice for the head and neck is to look into your elbow. Where can you find softness against the effort that this takes? And inhale, bring it up. Leave your legs where they are. Oh, look, it's warrior two. Bring it back to the center. Both legs point front. Take your hands to your butt. Tuck that booty underneath, bend your knees, zip up the core, and shoulders pinch together. Lift the back of your head backwards. Back of your head backwards. Resist the urge to drop your neck. Chins tucked, you have 17,000 chins. And press your chin down, up and over. Exhale, front. Ah, good job, good job. Just melt. If you want to be still here and just breathe, that's fine. If you want to move a little bit, let it be fluid if you want to move. But do luxuriate in your juicy breath. Opening up the back of the hamstrings and the back of the hips. Big breath in. Lift up your core, soften those knees, heel toe, a little bit closer together, roll up, drop your tailbone down as you bring your belly up to rise. Big breath in. Okay, we have very wide knees right now. And we're gonna sit down and back, whoosh. Look down, make sure your knees and toes are pointed forward. Reach your arms back and drop your chest to a flat back. Reach your tailbone back, away from the crown of your head. Squat, 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 sit, find it low, power. Send that power down through your feet, press into the mat. Pull your pelvic floor together and arms come forward to come up. Big breath in. Good, good. Soften. Turning your left leg out to the side. Let's milk it around a little bit. Milk it around. Find that flat pelvis and tip the whole entire torso for our triangle pose. Beginning with a hold to strengthen that core and a reach. Hold and reach. Keep checking in with your core, checking in with those knees. We don't want to lock them out. We want to keep them just gently softened as you breathe. So much effort. How do you find the ease in your effort? If this feels like nothing's going on, you're probably up here. Yeah? Swing that pelvis back. Think of your thighs gathering and pressing. Find a place for your hand to drop to your thigh or your calf or the floor, and then work on pulling that hip all the way flat underneath your torso. Lengthening that torso all the way flat. Find your breath. And exhale, soften the front leg, move your elbow to that front knee, and then walk your back foot back so that your front knee is not passing the foot. Yeah, we want that front knee over the ankle, not over the toes. Roll it open. Reach up. Remember earlier, as you breathe into this side angle pose, we talked about how in Warrior One, the whole outside edge of the foot is touching the ground. We want that to be true here too, so that foot shouldn't be peeled up off the ground. It should be perpendicular to your front foot, and the whole outside edge of the foot is touching. Big breath in. Let's lengthen that head and neck down onto the shoulder. Let it rest. And circle that arm. Breathe and circle. One more time. Let that arm close the hips to bring you down to a high lunge, and then open this leg, the knee to the side. Drop it in. Reach back through the back heel and press with those arms. Gently put that foot down, walk back to the center. Walk your feet halfway in, heels in, toes out. Drop your hips down slowly, feeling your way there while opening those hips until you can find your elbows on your knees. Big inner thigh stretch. Keep walking your feet somewhere that you can hang out. Might be closer than your knees, but wider than your hips. Whole feet are on the floor. That's where we're looking for today. There's a bunch of different places you can be, but for here is, today I'd like you to be wide with your whole feet on the floor. Find a place where that works for you. Notice how you want to drop your head and instead pull those shoulders down and back. Open up the heart and see if you can lift your chest forward. I'm definitely pressing with my elbows here, and I'm going to try and engage my hips as well. Rotating the thighs, the theme of the day, and tucking my pelvis underneath. So I'm trying to like open the whole blossom forward and up. One more breath. Take your hands to the floor. Bring those knees in gently. Come back to your child's pose. Press it out. Rest. Come on up to all fours. Cat-cow. Let yourself wriggle around however feels good to you. Whatever needs a little more gentleness, a little more motion, breathe into it. Give it some love. We're going to take your right knee forward, and we're going to fall onto that right hip. Bloop. Go ahead and come down into your pigeon here. So your legs might be pretty far to the side if you're tight. If you're super hyper flexible, it could be that you're almost all the way straight back. So find your place in between, because it does look different on everyone's bodies, and that's okay. Once you get there, make a pillow with your fists and rest your head. Breathing into those legs and hip sockets and trying to let go. How do you give it down to the earth? Give it down. Give it down. Gently walk that up. Walk your hands around to the outside of the forward leg. Look over your shoulder and walk out on the angle, twisting around that leg. Drop it down low. Walk it back in. Be sensitive of your lower back. And by doing that, I mean lift your core, lift your pelvic floor, lengthen through the lower back for the circling breath. Big breath in. Keep checking back in with your core. Reach it forward. Lift it back in. Lift through the core. Don't bend it just because it feels good. Don't abandon your lower back. Instead, lift it up. One more time. And walk it on up. Before we go to the other side, let's put our feet together. Big breath in. Exhale, rest in your butterfly pose, otherwise known as bound angle pose in yoga. Just rest here for 3-4 breaths. Check on a text here from a student. We're good. Okay, we're all good. Careful if you're just joining us late. Slide your other leg out and rotate away from it. So we're on that hip. Yeah, this is a down hip pigeon stretch. Gently, gently breathe into it. Find your pigeon stretch. Here we are. Again, another opportunity to think about the relationship between opening this hip and squaring the pelvis towards the floor in this case. So you can think about pulling this hip down towards the mat, and you can also think about rotating this thigh at the same time. See how that changes your stretch. Inhale, lift it up, walk it to the back. and twist, looking down behind yourself. Respecting your lower back, add the circle. Come back to the front. Bring those legs up. Walk your hands down towards your ankles. And feel the feeling of bringing your shoulders forward, but your knees back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that a little bit. Instead of being all the way here with your legs falling in, holding on for dear life, bend your knees as much as you need to. Make your heart forward. Keep them bent and opening. External rotation of the legs. Big theme today, yes? Walk your booty back so that your hips can fall forward and your knees open out. Letting your inner thighs stretch out by reaching your heart and skull forward. Bent legs are fine. Work at your bus stop. Bring it up. And bring those legs in. Tuck your right knee. We're gonna slide our hand out and come onto that shin. Just like our spider pose earlier, we're gonna find that leg and stretch it forward. It looks flat, but now you know it's not. Bend it. Let your foot go down and drop your head, neck, and shoulder. Open those hips. Curve your body. Let your hips fall back. Back to seated. And shift to the other side. Hand's going to be pretty far forward, so at least as far forward as that knee. As we shift onto the other knee, maybe forward more than that. Bus stop A is inner thigh. Notice I'm still dropping the hips just like before and extending that leg. Keep the hips underneath you. Soften that leg, put the toe on the ground. Once you feel secure with the toe on the ground, open your chest and body some more. Press the hips forward. Exhale, drop your pelvis back and shoulders forward to return to the mat. Let's go back through the other side one more time, each side, yes? Bus stop A, you're just getting onto that shin. Palm forward of the knee at first. Just try and grab. You can still leave these toes on the floor. Just concentrate on stability in the torso if you like. Bus stop A, B, C, D, E. Notice my torso is attempting to be in that same square as it was in my triangle pose. And reach. Tuck that foot down to the floor and then press open your pelvis. Pelvis curves back to the floor. Switch sides. Take it easy, guys. This is complex. You're doing great. Shift last time through, other side. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Q. Find that square torso. That's your real goal. Tuck your butt underneath. Slowly down. Open it up. Curve it down to the floor. Back to the center. Take your hands to your ankle. We're gonna do stack of logs here to stretch those hips out because you just worked them so much. I'm trying to put my ankle on the opposite knee. One day it'll be 2 logs on top of each other, my 2 shins. When we first start, it's a big tangle of sticks, yeah, pick up sticks. So however that looks is fine. Lift your body up as much as you can. You can hold on to this front shin if you like. Lean your pelvis forward into the stretch of the top hip. You might feel the bottom one as well. Relax. If you feel a lot of torque in this top knee, try pushing with your ankle down because we want the twist to happen in the hip, not so much in the knee. It might not work for you, so take it easy here. Easy. You can also support that knee a little bit. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Sneaking a little fist so that my knee's not going quite as far. And then I can lean into the stretch further. Try that if it works for you. Find your breath. Gently releasing the neck. Blow all the air out. Tuck yourself in and up. Grasp that leg. Switch them. Setting up your new stack of logs. If you want to put a fist underneath, you can. Or reach it forward. Feeling your top outside hip getting that stretch. Walking it up. Sliding those legs out. Soft parallel legs. Lift those knees up to the air as you spread your chest down across them. Parallel legs. Hamstring stretch. Soft neck. Slowly draw yourself up and back. And down to Shavasana. If your lower back feels tired, keep those knees bent, feet wide, legs together. If you're feeling open in those hips, then let your legs slide away from your hip bones. Let your thighs roll and melt into the mat. Let your thumbs unfurl out to the sides. And your shoulder blades tuck behind you underneath. And your jaw slide back towards the mat. Enjoy your breath. Draw your knees up to your chest. Slide your hands in between them. Two little fists next to each other. We're just going to provide a little resistance. I want you to squeeze your thighs in and smash those fists, creating heat. Tuck your tailbone up and squeeze everything to the center line. Squeeze it in. Belly's down. Squeeze those thighs. Release. Feet to the floor. Let it all go. Big breath into your belly. Expand it. Exhale. Belly lock in. Ribs down. Shoulders down. Draw your legs into your chest. Find those two fists between the knees. Big breath in. Thighs close. Exhale. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Make power. Exhale, release, catch the knees and press them into your chest for a supine child's pose. And just rock. Should feel good, side to side. Nice and gentle. Circle those knees. Letting yourself come back to the room. Both feet on the mat. Slide your right leg long. This is the safe way to get off the floor, also a very powerful way to get off the floor. Press with your bent left leg to roll your pelvis to the side. Rest in your reflexive pose. Gently walk it up. You did it. Namaste. It's always a pleasure.